For years, the widely held belief was that our feline companions operated primarily on instinct and tone, classifying specific human words as merely background noise. We assumed the warmth in our voice mattered, but the actual sounds forming the words were irrelevant. This perspective often relegates cats to a status of aloof tenants rather than engaged family members. Today, we challenge this deeply ingrained myth. What if the casual chatter you share with your cat is actually being processed, categorized, and even understood? Recent behavioral science suggests that their understanding goes far beyond simply registering a change in your emotional state. This presentation is your myth-busting guide into the cognitive world of cats, revealing astonishing research that proves your cat might be actively listening to every syllable you utter. Prepare to discover the incredible, secret world of feline linguistic comprehension and learn how to communicate with them more effectively. Traditionally, studies focused heavily on the suprasegmental elements of human speech, things like pitch, frequency, and emotional intensity. It was clear that cats reacted strongly to motherese or cat-directed speech, which tends to be higher-pitched and slower. This led researchers to conclude that the emotional coloring of the sound was paramount, while the lexical content, the actual words themselves, was secondary. However, this view overlooked the incredible sensitivity of the feline auditory system. Cats have a wider range of hearing than humans and are exceptional at differentiating subtle acoustic patterns. Our investigation today moves past the obvious emotional cues and asks, are they simply reacting to the music of our voice, or can they isolate specific notes, specific phonetic combinations, and assign meaning to them? The scientific community is now leaning toward the latter, acknowledging their capacity for specific auditory discrimination. The game changer came from Japan, thanks to researchers like Atsuko Saito and her colleagues, who utilized the habituation-dishabituation paradigm, a fancy term for showing that cats get bored when they hear the same thing repeatedly, but perk up when they hear something new and relevant. In their crucial 2019 study, cats were exposed to 4 human nouns of similar length and cadence. First, they were played their own name multiple times until they became habituated and stopped reacting. Then they were played a control word. If the cat responded to the control word with increased ear or head movement, it proved they recognized the phonetic difference. The results were compelling. Most cats successfully differentiated their own name from other similar-sounding words. This demonstrated that their recognition isn't just a generalized response to the human voice, it's specific processing of lexical items. This is a massive step forward in understanding feline cognition. The ability to recognize one's own name is perhaps the clearest indicator of word comprehension in cats. While it might sound basic, consider the complexity. Your cat has to filter out background noise, discern the sound pattern of their name from similar-sounding words like Noah versus Flora, and then connect that specific sequence of sounds to their own identity. Furthermore, studies showed that cats were also often able to distinguish their name from the names of other pets or humans living in the same house. This indicates not only acoustic discernment, but also social understanding. Their name acts as a powerful attention getter, a specific learned cue that means attention required, this message is for you. While they might not always choose to respond immediately, we now know they absolutely hear it and process the linguistic content. How exactly do they assign meaning to these specific sound sequences? The answer lies in simple yet effective associative learning, or conditioning. When you say the word food just before putting kibble in the bowl, or outside just before opening the door, the cat's brain creates a strong neural link between the phonetic pattern and the predictable positive outcome. These words become command cues not because the cat understands the human definition of the word food, but because that noise reliably predicts a sensory reward. Consistency is the key ingredient here. If you use 5 different phrases for dinner time, it dilutes the association. The words cats learn best are those that are short, distinct, and consistently linked to high-value resources or routines, making their lives better, safer, or more comfortable. It turns out that your cat doesn't just recognize what you say, but who is saying it. Research highlights the critical role of the human-cat bond in linguistic comprehension. Studies have shown that cats respond significantly better to their owner's voice when hearing command words compared to a stranger's voice, uttering the exact same words with the same tone. This is fascinating because it suggests the cat is associating the phonetic cues not just with an outcome, but with a specific familiar sound profile, yours. This highlights the socio-emotional context of their understanding. Your unique cadence, frequency, and speech patterns become a powerful communication channel, reinforcing the importance of regular interaction and verbal reassurance in strengthening your mutual understanding. While lexical recognition is important, true communication involves blending multiple cues. Cats aren't just processing sound, they are master interpreters of nonverbal language. They combine recognized words with shifts in your body posture, changes in your gaze direction, and, crucially, your overall emotional state. For example, if you say no in a calm, slightly amused tone, the cat might interpret it as play. If the same word is accompanied by a sharp change in posture and a frown, the intent is much clearer. This means your cat possesses a remarkable level of emotional intelligence, allowing them to gauge your intent and mood far better than we give them credit for. They are constantly reading the room, analyzing you as the most dynamic and important element of their environment, creating a sophisticated communication network. Given the findings on associative learning, which words are cats most likely to understand? Aside from their name, the feline vocabulary centers around survival, comfort, and routine. High-probability words include treats, food or dinner, outside, come here, and possibly simple prohibitions like no. Phrases related to play, such as laser or toy, also rank highly, as they predict an enjoyable activity. What these words share is predictability and high frequency within the daily routine. If you want your cat to learn a new word, say brushy, you must use only that word every time you bring out the brush, making the link inescapable. Understanding these core vocabulary trends helps us recognize just how tuned in they are to the specific sounds that directly impact their well-being. It's important to acknowledge the differences between feline and canine language processing. Dogs, due to thousands of years of selective breeding for cooperation, possess far higher social motivation to please and follow human commands, enabling them to learn an expansive vocabulary. Cats, on the other hand, are motivated by self-interest and autonomy. A cat may understand 50 or 60 words, but choose to only respond to 5. Their understanding might be latent. They comprehend the meaning, but lack the social imperative to demonstrate it immediately. When your cat ignores you after you've called their name, it's rarely because they didn't hear you. It's usually a decision, demonstrating that while they recognize the cue, their motivation to comply is conditional on the immediate context or the anticipated reward. This cognitive difference is crucial for setting realistic expectations. So, what does this mean for our daily interactions? The key takeaway is to embrace verbal communication with your cat. We know they process specific words, so use them consistently. First, always use cat-directed speech, that high-pitched, slow cadence, as it enhances their attention. Second, be ruthlessly consistent with your cue words, especially for routines like feeding and playtime. Avoid using synonyms for important commands. Finally, reinforce your words with positive body language and immediate rewards to strengthen the associative link. The research is clear. Your cat is far more intelligent and attentive than the aloof stereotype suggests. By speaking clearly and consistently, you are building a deeper, more linguistic connection with your incredible feline friend. Thank you for joining me on this fascinating journey into the mind of your cat.